Alright guys, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to take a little walk in the backyard of a good friend of ours in a man-made canal here as he's killing the white trout in the dead-end canal of a man-made canal. And we're going to use the Matrix Mini and show you how effective this is on these white trout. Let's have some fun with this. Look at that pole, boy. We are doing something pretty new and unique today. Using a little perch pole. This here. And we're using our mini setups. Got the Matrix Mini here. Good friend of mine, Mr. Walter, told me they're killing the white trout behind his house. I brought over the Matrix Mini, got it on an 1/8 ounce jig head, catching white trout. Now this is a small one that I've seen some of the ones he's caught today. They're really nice. We're using our silky string, which is what I exclusively use whenever we're fishing for panfish, which, you know, we're not doing that right now, but we're using our panfish setups, our mini spins and mini push buttons. Very light line, this stuff. It's 15-pound test, but it's only a 4-pound test diameter. And I just have it attached to a little piece of fluoro. And I tell you, there's a bunch of white trout in here. I just started and you're getting a bite almost every cast. It's about 15 foot down in the middle. And for whatever reason, these white trout, they will gang up in some of these dead-end canals, these residential dead-end canals in the wintertime. I don't really know why. This is kind of a unique thing, but we've seen this happen a few times over the years, and voila. You can really have some fun, great thing to do with kids. And anytime you're on white trout, you know, the Matrix Mini is a deadly, deadly lure. I also highly recommend it when you're catching a lot of, you know, trout that are right on the button, you know, right at the 12-inch mark. A lot of times downsizing that bait can make a big difference. Let me go over the technique here. So like I said, that's an 1/8 ounce, and I'm throwing it in the middle of the canal, which is about 15, 18 foot. So it's gonna take a while for that little bitty lure to get down to the bottom. You're just gonna let it get down, and I mean, you can almost just start reeling when you feel it hit the bottom, because they're on there. This is a little bit better one here. There we go. And some of them are a keeper, like this one here. And let me show you what Mr. Walter's doing with the ones he's keeping. You got to take a look at this tank. He's got about 500 of them in here. Come look at this. Got a little live well here. And that thing is full to the brim with white trout. Alright, so now I switched. I got my little spinning reel now. Got the glow Matrix on there. Zip it on out there. Have a little fun with this. This little rod is really, really flimsy. The water clarity back here, there he is. Look at that pole, boy. That pole is folded over like a noodle. I feel like a kid again, fishing off the dock, having some fun. Look at that beautiful fish splashing the surface. Oh, I thought that pelican was coming to get us. Here we go, come on up. I mean, this is incredible, guys, how many white trout are back here. I mean, they're not even allowing me to bounce the lure. And it's the moment it hits the bottom, it's out there. But if you live on the water, you got access to a dock, the Matrix Mini's always a great lure to have. There might be some croakers out there, some perch under the dock. This is one of our greatest products, the Matrix Mini, and we made it for crappie fishing. We just don't get the crappie fish all that often, but it's very effective when we do. Look at this one's pulling back a little bit here. When you put that ultralight on something like this is how you teach a kid how to fish and really enjoy it, is doing something like this. Here we go. There's a keeper. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at him shaking his head. The only difference in this and specs is they ain't got no specs on them. Come on up. Look at that. Wow. I mean, that's a solid, I'd say, 14-inch white trout, y'all. And look, he just choked that Matrix Mini down. This is just a lot of fun. I know what I'll be doing the next several weeks is the fishing out in the lake has been pretty tough. And this is I don't see this stopping anytime soon, the amount of these little guys that are out there. All right, whenever you fish in these man-made canals, you never really know what you're gonna catch. You know, a lot of these canals are full of bass. Sometimes, as you've seen in some of our previous DockSide TV episodes, we like to troll down the middle of these canals and catch speckled trout. And in this particular instance, we're out here catching white trout, and we're backed up in a dead-end part of a canal, which is pretty typical for wintertime fishing. Is fish will congregate in the dead-end canals, and it's very normal for fish to be ganged up in a man-made canal where it's got a lot of depth. But having hundreds to thousands of white trout in the back of a dead end, this is kind of unique to us. We have seen it in the past, but for whatever reason, it seems to happen in February and March when it does happen. And what we used today was the Glow and the Lemonhead Matrix Mini, and these are fantastic panfish baits. And as you can see, they're great for smaller trout, white trout today, and we also really like it for speckled trout. Awesome baits also for fishing dock lights at night, and we showed that on some DockSide TV episodes. And make sure to subscribe to your monthly bait box. We're going to be putting out a lot of these Matrix Minis in there. This is a must-have in your tackle box for all fishermen, as this is a very effective bait, especially on your smaller species of fish like these 8 to 14-inch white trout we were catching today. That's great table fare. All right, so we're gonna clean up a few of these. These things taste just as good as speckled trout, very similar shape and texture, but one of the things you really want to do is when you are catching white trout, you want to keep them very cold. Don't let them get soft, and you want to clean them that day. The big difference in speckled trout and white trout is the white trout can get soft on you, but if you keep them very cold and you clean them and eat them that day, you can't tell or taste the difference at all. You know, they don't really freeze as well as speckled trout do, so I wouldn't recommend. I mean, you can freeze them, they'll be fine, but they're not going to be the same as a speck if they're frozen. But if you get them good and cold like we did today, and then clean them the day of, and it's the same exact way you clean a trout. You come right down like we did, take it off the skin, and then you just cut that rib cage off like so, and voila, you have yourself a beautiful fillet. Yeah, you cannot tell the difference in this and a speckled trout when it's ice cold like it is right here. Maybe put it in a little bag of milk, pull all of that blood out of there, and it's ready to fry up. They never let that hit the water.